Now, just for the layman who knows nothing about these three terms, what is Brownfield, Bluefield, and Greenfield, and how exactly does it pertain to SAP rollouts?
It's a good question. The Greenfield, Brownfield, and Bluefield, also known as selective data transition, these are the terms used when somebody wants to implement S/4HANA, and particularly when they are moving from SAP ECC footprint. Greenfield basically means it's a brand new implementation of S4, and usually it is done when customers want to start afresh with standard best practices, industry best solutions, and also adapt to the new innovations that SAP has brought in with the S4 HANA. And one other reason that they want to do this is also to simplify their business processes. And usually they do it with help from SAP's best practice. With respect to Brownfield, this one is using an existing SAP ECC footprint and convert that system to a new application like S4HANA, for example. And during this process, they do two things. One is they upgrade their database if they are not already on HANA database. And also they change or convert their application layer from SAP ECC to S4HANA. And the third one, which is called Bluefield, actually Bluefield is a term used by one of the SAP partners. So the generic term for that is called selective data transition. And this particular approach is a hybrid approach. Basically, customers who want to consolidate their landscape, or if they want to selectively move their data from ECC to S4, then they go with this approach, selective data transitions.
And again, just as an SAP professional whose expertise is SAP rollout, in your opinion, from the company's perspective, which would be maybe the easiest? Which do you think is the best for transition for any reasons?
Whether it is easy or the best is all a relative term, right? Every company that's moving from either SAP ECC to S4 or they are moving from a non-SAP system to S4 HANA, the approach what they are taking has got a lot of factors considered. Now, with respect to Greenfield, usually this Greenfield implementation, which is a brand new instance of S4 HANA without worrying about the existing ECC system conversion, the new Greenfield implementation would make a lot of sense if their current SAP ECC system is either a very old version or it has been customized so much that they are far away from standardization. And also, if they are finding problems with simplification of business processes and everything is very complex, then Greenfield would be the right approach. On the other hand, if their existing ECC system is of a higher version, and also if their customization has been done to a very minimum, and they are very close to standards, and they don't have any good reason to go for a new instance, completely scrapping what they have, then they would consider Brownfield, which means they can take their current ECC footprint and do a conversion to S4 HANA. The third option, which is the selective data transition, as I mentioned before, it's an excellent hybrid model where you get best of both worlds, in my opinion. So if you are in a situation where you want to have a new S4 HANA instance, bring in all the new innovations from SAP, look at their best practices, adopt their industry solutions, etc. And also, if you want to selectively import configuration from your current ECC instance, then you can go for selective data transition. Now, the biggest advantage in this approach is not only you're moving selectively your configuration, you can also move your historical data selectively. So for example, if you have a criteria of, okay, I want to move only a specific module, or I want to move historical data for a specific period of time, which means the last 7 years. Or if you want to bring in only certain company codes into the new instance, then you can do all of that using the selective data transition approach.
Okay, just out of sheer curiosity, which of the three have you seen most often in your field of work?
I have seen both Greenfield and Brownfield in my field of work. Selective data transition has been relatively new. When I say new, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, it has picked up a lot. And SAP has their own tool called SAP DMLT, which is data management and landscape transformation. Along with that, there are other partners, like 4 or 5 different partners who are having their tools. So these tools have matured over a period of time in the last 4 or 5 years, I would say. And so the mostly used methodology are either Greenfield or Brownfield. Now, off late, a lot of companies are looking at selective data transition also. So it's only a question of time before selective data transition becomes widely used.
Well, I suppose what I'm asking is, okay, so these three terms, are they applicable to both ECC6 and S4, or are the terms themselves referring to the migration from EC6 to S4?
These are the terms which are usually meant for migrating from SAP ECC to S4. Now,
Ah,
brownfield and selective data transition are very clearly SAP ECC to S4. But when you go for a greenfield, that S4 HANA instance can be a brand new instance without worrying anything about the legacy. The legacy could be non-SAP or it could be SAP, and new implementation or a greenfield is a brand new instance of S4.